And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week. And this week, the Pennsylvania race for governor got a little bit ugly. One of the Republican candidates, Bill McSwain, put up an attack ad against 3 other Republican candidates. Now, you know, the Senate race has already been a mudslinging competition that really hasn't served any of us very well. And now the governor's race threatens to become that as well. Shame on Mr. McSwain for doing that. It really wasn't necessary. It really doesn't help the debate. It really doesn't help the Republican Party. And our fire should be focused on Josh Shapiro. And that's where I've taken my fight directly to throughout this campaign. From the very first day he announced his candidacy, I said he ought to resign from office because you shouldn't be taking a taxpayer paycheck to try to move up while jobs and people are moving out. That's really pretty simple. And you know, there's a lot of historic precedent for that as well. Bob Butera, who was the Republican leader in the legislature, resigned from office in order to run for governor. And just 4 years ago, Scott Wagner, a sitting state senator, did exactly the same thing. And yet we've got folks now taking taxpayer paychecks to run around the state running for governor. I run a small business, and I took a leave of absence from our little business in order to run statewide because I know you can't do both. But here's the thing. I'll remain that conservative happy warrior with a smile on my face talking about what we will do for Pennsylvania rather than attacking other Republicans because ultimately that's the way to win in November. And spring has sprung. The trees are turning green. My allergies are going crazy. The daffodils are out and the boys of summer have headed north to begin baseball season. The Philadelphia Phillies and the Oakland Athletics are going to open the season, or have opened the season now that we are into Saturday morning. You know, for 50 years, the Philadelphia Phils and the Philadelphia Athletics were in the same town. But because they didn't have interleague play, they never played each other in regular season baseball. But they had exhibition games that were really the talk of the town and all the bragging rights. And after all, isn't that why we play sports, for the bragging rights and the trash talking rights? So the Phils and the A's back at it once again, and across the country, baseball is being played once again, and college basketball came to a finale earlier this week with Kansas coming back from the biggest deficit in the history of the tournament to defeat North Carolina. My beloved Villanova Wildcats got knocked out by Kansas in one of the great Final Four Saturdays. What's interesting is that in the past 20 years, Villanova and Kansas have each won 2 national titles. And both times they had to go through the other team to get there. Villanova defeating Kansas in the Final Four in 2018 and in the Elite Eight in 2016. Kansas beating Villanova in 2008 and again this year in the Final Four. So just a little tidbit of basketball history for you right there. And finally, Ketanji Brown Jackson will now be Justice Jackson. No Robert Jackson here, the first African-American woman to sit on the Supreme Court and pretty much guaranteed to be the most liberal jurist we've ever seen. Going on to the court with all the Democrat votes in the U.S. Senate and 3 Republicans, sadly voting for her confirmation. But she will now be a justice because the courts do matter. We've seen it here in Pennsylvania, we see it at the national level, and we will see it once again. So eternal vigilance remains the price of our freedom. And for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.